My queen, Mordecai, has sent word. You must tell the king of Haman's evil plan and save your people.
Baruch Hashem Yah, Bahashem Yahushua, Baruch Hashem Yahushua. Shalom, family. Today's lesson is titled, Tell the King. And we're going to examine some things here. How we have to petition Yahuwah for all that we need, and for deliverance for our people, and for deliverance in our personal lives, okay? Because this can be applied to us as a whole and us individually, what we're going to go over today, okay? We're going to kind of come out of the book of Esther and examine some of the scriptures there, and how she was used to come from her people and put in a position where she could have access to talk to the king. And that position was so that Yashar'el would be delivered from the evil plans of Haman or Haman, who had determined to destroy the children of Yashar'el. Okay, and in our personal lives, we have the requirement and the need to come to Yah to petition him for our own survival. Okay, because the enemy wants to destroy each of us individually and collectively. If you look at it, Mordecai is the one who Haman really hated and wanted to destroy, but not only Mordecai, but his people as a whole. So we can look at Mordecai as us as individuals, and then the children of Yashar'el is our people as a whole. Okay, it's not just enough to just destroy, the people. He wants to destroy each one of us individually as well. Okay, collectively and individually. This is Hasatan's goal, and he wants to, take these curses that we have been under and just utilize them to the max and go as far as he can possibly go. But we are in a time where things are changing, and Yahuwah is taking the cup out of our hand. We can see it happening. Things are moving. Yah has come out of his place, okay? But we have to still pray and seek him, okay? Again, this is an individual and a collective effort. And those of us who have been chosen out, as Esther was, to understand who we are, we have to pray to Yah for our people who are still waking up, who will be waking up in the future, and who have no clue what's going on. But all of our people need protection from what's out there. It's already been written. It's already in the land to destroy us all. And Yah promised to deliver us, and he is doing that. But we have a part to play, okay? Yah wants interaction from his people, faith from his people, belief from his people. He needs that, and that's what he seeks. So this is our responsibility. So we're going to go to Luke 18. We'll start in Luke. We will discuss scriptures out of Esther, but we're going to be in Luke initially to get us started, okay? Luke 18, 1-8. And he spake a parable to them, that they should always pray and not lose heart, saying, in a certain city there was a certain judge, not fearing Elohim nor regarding man. And a widow was in that city, and she came to him, saying, Do right to me on my adversary. And he would not for a while. But after he said within himself, Even if I do not fear Elohim nor regard man, yet because this widow troubles me, I shall do right to her, lest by her continual coming she wears me out. And the master said, Hear what the unrighteous judge said. And shall Elohim not do right by all means to his own chosen ones, who are crying out day and night to him, and be impatient over them? I say to you, that he shall do right to them speedily. But when the Son of Adam comes, shall he find belief on the earth? So this is telling us, as a parable, the woman, she continued to petition this unjust judge for justice over the adversary. And he didn't care about Elohim or man, but through her continual coming, he was like, I'm going to go ahead and do this because she's, getting on my nerves. She's going to wear me out. Now, in this parable, Yah is using this to cause this unjust and wicked judge who don't care about Elohim at all to move on behalf of this widow. So we have to understand Yah will use who he wants to use and move on behalf of Yashar'el, okay? But you can see how Yahushua is tying this together in verse 7. He's saying, shall Elohim, okay, the righteous judge, Elohim, not do right by all means to its own chosen ones. This is who we are, and this is who Yahushua is talking to. The children of Yashar'el. Shall he not do right by us? Who are crying out day and night to him? This is what he expects us to do. Cry out day and night, not give up, not lose hope. This is what it says in verse 1, right? That we should always pray and not lose heart. Why would we be even in a position to lose heart? Because things look so bad for us. It looks like everything is just out of whack. Our men, our young men, our women go running amok. There's things happening. When you look at this, it looks like everything is just hopeless. But Yah says we should always pray and not lose heart. So whatever's happening in your life individually, what you see collectively, what's going on in your family, whatever it is in your body, whatever's going on, Yah says that we have to continue to pray and not lose heart. We are in a position to petition him. And we'll get into that with Esther because this is very important, okay? So again, I read verse 8. I say to you that he shall do right to them speedily. All right. And this is what we expect. And this is what has been written and promised to us. But when the son of Adam comes, shall he find belief on the earth? So that's what Yah is looking for, faith and belief. So we have to show that this is what we possess. Now we're going to get in the book of Esther. And it's important that we examine this because we can see parallels and see that the enemy is against us individually and collectively. And the individually can be represented by Mordecai, who Haman hates because he will not bow down to him. And then collectively, Mordecai's people, meaning, all of Yashar'el that was in these provinces that Haman wanted to destroy. Okay. And we have to just draw the connections here, this account and how it fits us today. Okay. So Esther 3:8-12. Haman then told sovereign Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of your reign, whose laws are different from all people, and they do not do the sovereign's laws. Therefore, it is not in the sovereign's interest to let them remain. Now, let's stop there. Whose laws are different. So what this symbolizes, there was a difference with these people. It was a notable difference with these people. Because back then and during this time, we all looked the same. It wasn't necessarily a look, we're all melanated, we all look the same, but there was a difference in how we behaved ourselves and the laws and things that we follow. Now, we can kind of parallel that today, that we are just different. We move different. There is a difference with us in society, and the world recognizes that. We are not like the others. Okay. Now, as a whole, we need to follow the laws. We need to follow righteousness. This is what we are called to do. As Yahushua said, as Yahuwah said, that we turn from our wickedness and we come to Yahuwah, and he will come to us and he will lift us up. He will strengthen us. He will establish us. He will settle us. We have responsibility to turn from wickedness. Okay. But even in the world, the way we move and the aura that surrounds us is different. We are a different people. So of course the enemy doesn't want us to remain, because the power that is in us, that is innate right now, or lying dormant because of unrighteousness or whatever, there is still a threat. Okay. In Babylon, which is confusion, there's a threat in this society of us awakening to our full potential and power in Yahuwah. Okay. And this is important that we unlock all of this. So verse 9, if it pleases the sovereign, let a decree be written to destroy them, and let me pay 10,000 talents of silver into the hands of those who do the work, and to bring it into the sovereign's treasuries. Okay, so we have to understand that this is a decree, and look at it in a spiritual sense, because the curse is being in the land, and Yah is starting to lift them off of us. Okay, but there are still people who kind of willingly are under them because of unrighteousness, right? And that since Babylon is still kind of not like falling officially yet, it's starting to weaken, and bolts and screws are falling out, and things are starting to get rickety and rackety out here. We are still under this system, but Yah is moving on our behalf, And only righteousness would totally blow all of that away. We have to present ourselves the way Yah desires, and we have to pray. And individually in our lives, there are things we have to pray and believe, because there's a decree there where the Haman or our adversary is trying to stop our blessings or cause us to lose hope and to lose heart. And we cannot do that. So, hey, they're rewarding the people here. Hey, we're going to pay you for destroying these Israelites. So they sent this out, okay? They sent it out. They called all the viceroys, and they sent it all out to the provinces, verse 12. And the king gave Haman his signet so he can seal it, the letter, and he sent it out, okay, all throughout the land. And the decree is out there. We have to understand there's a spiritual connection here. Everything you pray for, everything you want, things you are desiring from Yahuwah, Haman's trying to send a decree to destroy it, destroy you, destroy everything that you want to have, your health, your wealth, your family, anything that your prosperity. He's trying to destroy and to send this letter out. You understand? We have to draw the parallels, but we are in a position to pray for Yahuwah to bring us a victory in those situations, okay? So let's continue in Esther 3:13 through 15. And the letters were sent by the runners into the sovereign's provinces to cut off, slay, destroy all the Yudim, both young and old, little children, women, in one day, on the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, to plunder their possessions. Look at this. Just destroy us. Kids, old, young, no matter. Get rid of all of us. Take what we have. And you see things in place to do that. And it's like you just sit there like nothing you can do about it. Like I said, people try to vote and everything, and they don't seem to work. But they're voting for man instead of Yahuwah. He is the one who we should be going to and putting over us to understand that he is the one who will deal with our adversaries and deal with all of these wicked systems that have been put in place. Okay. All right. So it says in verse 14, a copy of the writing to be made law in every province was published for all people to be ready for that day. The runners went out, hastened by the sovereign's command, and the decree was given out in the citadel of Shushan. The sovereign and Haman then sat down to drink, but the city of Shushan was in confusion. And look at that confusion, which is Babylon. Confusion. This is what we're in right now. We might as well be in the city of Shushan. We are in confusion right now. And in that city, in that confusion, there is a decree to destroy us. You understand? You see how it's coming together? But we have a hope, and we have responsibility to petition Yah, okay? So when this letter was sent out, then Mordecai, and I'm trying to just summarize this, so I'm not going to go through the whole book. And again, read the book of Esther when you get a chance. Mordecai, who Haman wanted to kill and destroy, and had prepared a stake to impale him on from the advice of his wife to destroy Mordecai. And then his people, Mordecai got wind of this and came to Esther, sent word to say, listen, you're in a position now. You have to come to the king. You have to petition him. You have to ask him to reverse this or send another letter or something to help us so that we can be delivered from this threat. Okay. And of course, Esther was terrified. She was scared. She didn't know how to go about it. She knew she come to the king according to his laws without being summoned. She might be killed and all that. So she fasted and told Mordecai, we need to fast for 3 days. And, she wanted to really be prepared when she came with this petition. Okay. And we had to be prepared. Fasting, just totally giving ourselves over, whatever Yah requires. Okay. Praying day and night. We are in a position where Yah has put us to come to him. And the good thing about us in our situation, we have no such law. Okay, that we come to him without being summoned. Well, Yah wants us to come to him, and we have access to him. and we can come boldly, and we can come knowing that Yah is going to deliver us, okay? But we see the parallels here that there is a position that Esther is in. She's been chosen out of the people and placed by the king's side, and you read the story on how she got there. But this is what Yah has done. He has awakened us and put us in a position where we can come to him, right? And we have to take that responsibility and that opportunity and that blessing and that honor seriously. Okay. So what Esther did is she invited Haman to a feast of wine. He came, and we're going to kind of take it up from there to see what she did. Okay, Esther 7:1-7. And the sovereign and Haman came in to drink with the sovereigness Esther. And again, on the second day at the feast of wine, the sovereign said to Esther, "What is your petition, sovereigness Esther? And it shall be given to you. What is your request on half my reign? And it is done." See, this is how Yah is thinking of us. What is your petition? And it is done. This is what he's telling us. We have to understand how he looks at us and how he feels about us, his chosen ones. And the sovereign Esther answered and said, "If I find favor in your eyes, O sovereign, and if it pleases the sovereign, let my life be given, and my petition and my people at my request." Okay, so this is the second day of the feast. The first day, they really wasn't doing nothing but just relaxing and enjoying the feast. And she said, "Well, we're going to have it again. I want Haman to come again." And this is where we are now, when Haman came that second day. Okay, so now she's coming with what she is desiring of the king. Verse 4, "For we have been sold, and my people and I, to be cut off, to be slain, and to be destroyed. And if we had been sold as male and female slaves, I would have kept silent, although the adversary could not make up for the sovereign's loss." And this is interesting that she says this. We have been sold as male and female slaves, I would have kept silent, because we were. And there was silence because we had to go through every bit of that. Okay. But to be totally and utterly destroyed, no, that's not going to happen, because Yah says he was not going to utterly destroy us. So we couldn't be totally and utterly destroyed. Now, we actually were sold as male and female slaves. But to be cut off and totally destroyed, it's not going to happen. Then it says, let's keep going. The sovereign asked Esther, "Who is he and where is he whose heart is set to do so?" Who's trying to do all this to your people? And Esther said, "The adversary and enemy is this evil Haman." Then Haman was afraid before the sovereign and sovereigness. So he's terrified at this point. And this is just how it's going to be when you pray, when you petition Yah, when we come collectively and even individually in our lives and point out what the adversary, what Satan is trying to do to us. He's going to be terrified. Okay? Because the scriptures say, "Draw nigh to Yah, and he will draw nigh to you." And Satan, he cannot have peace in the presence of Yah. He has to flee. He has to run. He is terrified of him. And this is in the scriptures, okay? He has to do what Yah sends him to do, and he has to stop when Yah tells him to stop. And there is a fear and a trembling there, okay? And his minions and the evil spirits that he commands are terrified of Yahuwah, okay? And they're out in the land. They are the ones bringing these curses about, getting in and out of people and causing all these different things that have been plaguing us throughout all of these hundreds or thousands of years in the different captivities, right? The different things we had to deal with. There's a spiritual side to this, okay? And I always examine that spiritual side as well, because this is where it emanates from and just kind of manifests itself in a physical way, all right? So, this evil Haman, he's the one doing this. Verse 7, "And the sovereign, arising in his wrath from the feast of wine, went to the palace garden, and Haman remained before sovereigness Esther, pleading for his life, for he saw the evil had been decided against him by the sovereign." Now, what I'm going to go back to a little bit is Haman, again, wanted Mordecai destroyed, and we can look at Mordecai again as us individually, and then Mordecai's people as Israel or Yashar'el as a whole, okay? Well, he built a stake to impale Mordecai on, a stick to just stick it through Mordecai and have him impaled on this stake. Oh, he had it built and ready for Mordecai. And we're going to see what Yah's going to do with that, because what Yah does is what the enemy plans for us, he throws him into his own trap. And that's part of that too, the cup coming out of our hand. But there are things that we have endured that the enemy is going to have to endure. But this, and it's all written in the scripture, so nothing can be done about it. Esther 7:8-10. And when the sovereign returned from the palace garden to the place of the feast of wine, Haman was fallen on the couch where Esther was. Then the sovereign said, also to ravish the sovereigns while I'm in the house? So you coming after my wife too? This is what he saw. This is what Yah let him see. This is what Yah made him believe. Haman was just begging for his life. As the word left the sovereign's mouth, they covered Haman's face. And Harbona, one of the eunuchs, said to the sovereign, also see the stake 50 cubits high, which Haman made for Mordecai, who spoke good on behalf of the sovereign and is standing at the house of Haman. And the sovereign said, impale him on it. So Haman's going to be impaled on his own stake he prepared for Mordecai. And they impaled Haman on the stake and he prepared for Mordecai, and the sovereign's wrath was abated. And this is just one part of the story. Now you see how he came through for Mordecai. Now Mordecai representing us individually, Yah's going to come through for you. So whatever's going on with you right now, whether it's in your body, whether it's in your finances, whether it's your family, whatever it is. And I talk about this often because we have to continue to remember this and continue to pray. You remember Luke, that you pray without ceasing and without losing hope or losing heart. And understand what happened to Haman, who was coming against Mordecai. So our Hamans, our enemies coming against us, Yah will impale them. We will have victory, because then Mordecai was given all that Haman had, his house and everything. Mordecai received it. Mordecai was blessed beyond measure. Mordecai's family, not so much. Now, I'm sorry, not Mordecai's family, Haman's family wasn't blessed at all. Okay, Haman was dealt with, and his family was dealt with, his sons, everything. And you read that in the book of Esther, that another letter was sent out. The king gave Esther permission to write, so she got the scribes together and they wrote another letter and sent it out, that Israel can fight and defend themselves. And Israel did, and had a great victory on that day where they were supposed to be destroyed. They had a great victory over their enemies in all those provinces. So the decree that went out, another decree came after it. And this is what's happening now. Another decree is coming out after the decree that has already went out against us and our people. But we have to pray to continue to see that to fruition. Yah is going to respond to us praying day and night. You know, you think about it when you're up. When you wake up, we need to pray for our people. Pray for your situation. Because, like I said, there's Mordecai, and then there's Mordecai's people. So it's you individually, and it's your people. So it's a lot of praying that needs to be done by the chosen ones, by the ones who have been awakened, by the ones who know who they are, by the ones who have been put in that position where they can get to the king. And they will pray, we will pray, and those of us who need to be awakened will awake. Those of us who need to be protected will be protected. Those of us who need to come out of this confusion will come out. Now, there are those who would choose not, okay, will stay rebellious. But there's other scriptures that handle that as well, okay? But we have to understand that as a whole, Yah is going to come through for his people. And we have to have that desire and that fire in us to pray, okay, to petition the king, to understand what position we have been placed in, been chosen out from among the people, to understand who we are, which gives us the ability to come to Yah in the right way, to understand fully what's going on here as far as our communication with him, and not having delusion and confusion around us, being taken out of the strong delusion and enough out of Babylon to understand, okay, what's happening and how we will be delivered. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to do. Tell the king, petition him, get our victory. Okay, understand you are in a place where you can come to Yah And you have been put in that place. And part of the reason you're put in this place so that you can pray. Because Yah wants our interaction and our faith. He loves that. That is a sweet smelling savor to him. That is a offering to him. That is what he is searching when he looks throughout the earth. And he's going to, because it's already written, come through and deliver his people. Okay, because he made a promise to Abraham. And he's going to honor that. But we are a part of that through praying, through petitioning him, through that's why he's starting to move. There's a lot of praying been going on. And you can see Yah moving. He's working things out over here. He's working things out over there. He's dealing with nations and peoples and places and times. And when it's all said and done, it will result in our deliverance, our elevation, okay, another renaissance, a renaissance of righteousness, a renaissance of spiritual power, a renaissance that will manifest itself in prosperous living, prosperity in our neighborhoods, and all of this wickedness that we see will come to an end. And it's a blessing to know that that is what was written, and that is what's going to happen. So get in the word, read Esther. Hopefully this encourages us to get those prayer wheels turning, because we always can pray more, and that we can be delivered, and that we can tell the king and understand he's going to come through for us. But until next time, hallelujah, and may Yah add a blessing to his word.
Now you would take my wife? Impale Haman on the stake he made for Mordecai.